Good morning. Wake up. It's time for Anything, Everything, and Nothing at All with me, your host, Christian Davis. So excited for you to join me on this journey today. If you haven't listened to last episode, it's a good one, okay? So gather the family, gather the elders. We are listening to episode 3 because it was a banger. And I plan on continuing that journey with this next episode. Today, we are going to mainly be discussing things involving air, space, okay? And it's going to be quite the journey. Now, I want to preface this podcast by talking about something that I love so much, which is coffee. I'm currently drinking a Nespresso coffee. This coffee is almond croissant flavored, and it's like a limited edition for Nespresso. And let me tell you, it is something else. Woo! I'm not really like a drip coffee person myself. I'm more of a latte, cortado, mocha type person that uses espresso. But man, these drip coffees from Nespresso, they have this viscosity that really does something for me. So, go get yourself an espresso. It changed my life. It changes my friends' lives. And it's a really good system. Now, here we go. Topic for today is all about space. Things that I learned as a kid that are maybe not true anymore. Just some fun facts about space that we're going to really dive into, because space is quite interesting to me. I always enjoyed learning about space in school. And so the first topic of anything today is Pluto. And I know some of you just got a shiver down your spine. I know that a lot of you are frustrated at the fact that Pluto is not a planet anymore. And so I want to really deep dive into what this is about. Because when I was in school, in elementary and middle school, I think, Pluto was still considered a planet. And so when I got to high school and they started talking about, oh, Pluto's not a planet. Sorry, what? What do you mean it's not a planet? That's not fair. That's not fair to my education. Now we're changing things, and that's not how this works. So we're going to get into it. I'm on science.nasa.gov. I thought that would be a good place to start. Even if you don't think NASA's real. Maybe you're that person, and that's okay. I hold space for your conspiracy theories. Here we go. Dwarf planets overview. Pluto and other dwarf planets are a lot like regular planets. So what's the big difference? The International Astronomical Union, IAU, a world organization of astronomers, came up with a definition of a planet in 2006. According to IAU, the planet must do 3 things. 1, orbit its host star in the Milky Way galaxy. That's where we live. That's the sun. Number 2, be mostly round. Number 3, be big enough that its gravity cleared away any other objects of similar size near its orbit around the sun. Okay, great. Dwarf planets like Pluto were defined as objects that orbit the sun and are nearly round, but have not been able to clear their orbit of debris. Wow. So far, the IAU has only recognized 5 dwarf planets. In order of distance from the sun, they are Ceres, C-E-R-E-S, Ceres, Pluto, Haumea, Haumea, Makemake or Makemake, Make, and Eris, Eris. But the IAU says there may be many more dwarf planets, perhaps more than 100, waiting to be discovered. Okay, that's our overview. Pluto is the furthest away from the sun, as far as I think that's true. Let's fact check that. Is Pluto the farthest planet? Yes, it is. Oh, that's not true, actually. It's Neptune. Nope. Hey, I just realized I can't read. Pluto is the furthest away. If we thought Pluto was a planet, which it is not, unfortunately, it would be the furthest planet away from the sun. Next to that would be Neptune. Now, I want to challenge myself right now, and this might be really, really embarrassing, but I'm going to try and name the planets in order from smallest to largest. No. From, hey, woo! The coffee's kicking. I'm going to try to order the planets from nearest to the sun to furthest away, okay? Here we go. First planet, Mercury, all right? I'm going to write this down so that we can fact check it. First planet away is Mercury. Second planet away is Mars. Third, Venus, and then Earth. Then we get to Jupiter. This is probably so wrong. Then we go Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Okay? I'm going to give you a second to lock in your answers. Let's see. Let's see who's right. Order of the planets. You guys, if I get this right, it's going to be crazy. Here we go. Wow, I was very wrong. Okay. The order is, this is so embarrassing. The order is Mercury, 1 for 1. Venus, okay, not correct for me. Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Now, I did get the last 3 correct. Actually, I got the last 4 correct, okay? Now, I thought, here's my thinking. Mercury is the closest to the sun because it's like destroyed and tiny. Mars, I thought, was next because they say it's close to size of Earth. And it looks red and hot. Mars is looking hot. For some reason, I thought Venus looked a little more blue, but it's looking quite red. Okay? And so that's my bad. Earth is third in the lineup. All right? And if you haven't seen in the news that they have published new pictures of Mars, it looks really cool. You guys should look that up. It's really neat. Moving on. See how we get off on tangents here? It's okay. It's all right. Pluto, the star of dwarf planets. Wow, that's a nice title. Pluto is by far the most famous dwarf planet. Discovered by Clyde Tombaugh in 1930, Pluto was long considered our solar system's 9th planet. But after other astronomers found similar intriguing worlds deeper in the distant Kuiper belt, the IAU reclassified Pluto as a dwarf planet in 2006. Okay, in 2006, I should have never learned that Pluto was a planet because I was not, that's like when I started kindergarten, 2006. So like my curriculum when I was growing up must have been out of date because I fully remember Pluto being a planet. So the curriculum that we were using must be out of date. There was a widespread outrage on behalf of the demoted planet. Textbooks were updated and the internet spawned memes with Pluto going through a range of emotions, from anger to loneliness. On July 14th, 2015, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft made its historic flight through the Pluto system, providing the first close-up images of Pluto and its moons and collecting other data that has transformed our understanding of these mysterious worlds on the solar system's outer frontier. Okay. So that's Pluto. Okay, all right. Go Pluto. I really do wish it was still a planet. It was like the cutest of the planets. It's a little cute little Pluto on the outside. Yeah, Pluto. Let's look at Pluto facts, okay? The namesake. Pluto was named by an 11-year-old girl, Venetia Burney of Oxford, England, suggested to her grandfather that the new discovery be named for the Roman god of the underworld. Okay, great. Potential for life. The surface of Pluto is extremely cold, so it's unlikely life could exist there. At such cold temperature, water, which is vital for life as we know it, is essentially rock-like. Pluto's interior is warmer, and something there could be an ocean deep inside. Okay. Size and distance. Pluto has an equatorial diameter, of about 1,477 miles. Pluto is about one-fifth of the width of Earth. Moons. This is the next topic I want to get into. The moons. Pluto has 5 moons. Charon, Nix, Hydra, Kerberos, and Styx. The moon system might have formed by a collision between Pluto and another similar-sized body early in the history of the solar system. Okay, so Pluto has 5 moons. Let's see what the other planets have. How many moons do the other planets have? Earth, 1 moon. Really lame. We'll get into that in a minute. Mars, 2 moons. Phobos and Deimos. Jupiter, dozens of moons. Saturn, 146 moons. That's crazy, dude. Uranus, 28 moons. Wow. Neptune, 16 moons. Pluto, 5 moons. Okay. I'm upset, and maybe some of you join me in this sentiment. I'm a little upset that we only have 1 moon. And it's really not fair. I feel like it would be really cool if we had multiple moons. Would it be brighter in the nighttime if we had more moons? Let's see. Twin moons would create a nighttime surface 5 times brighter than what we currently experience during a singular full moon. Wow. That is so interesting. So, wait, hold on. We have 1 moon. Saturn has 146 moons. 146 moons, that's bright. They ain't seeing the difference between dark and light. That's crazy, dude. Let's see how bright it is in Neptune. Is that what we're talking about? Neptune? Y'all, I'm all over the place, and I apologize. Neptune, Saturn. Okay, Saturn. How bright is Saturn at night? Given its brightness, Saturn should be visible to the naked eye, easy and bright under dark skies. That doesn't help me. How bright is Saturn at night because moons? Saturn reflects about 3 times more light to the moon. What? What I'm gathering is, because it's so far away from the sun, it's actually not very bright at all. That makes a lot of sense. But, we need more moons in Earth. I think we need to figure that out, because it would be really cool to look up and see 2 moons. I think that would be neat. Now, I recently went to see Alien, the new Alien movie. Romulus, yes. Alien Romulus. And now, I love the Alien franchise. It's a great, great horror franchise. And it was scary. Romulus is a good one. It's a really, really good one. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorites, actually. And what they were saying in there, that there's no sound in space. And that got me thinking, is that actually true? Because I've heard that throughout my life, and I just don't know if it's true. Is space actually silent? Now, Astronomy Magazine. You may have heard this saying in the tagline from the famous 1979 movie Alien. In space, no one can hear you scream. It's a scary thought, but is it true? The simple answer is yes. No one can hear you scream in space because there's no sound or echo in space. Space is silent for the most part. To understand why there's no sound in space, first consider how sound works. Sound is a wave of energy that moves through a solid, a liquid, or a gas. Sound is a compression wave. The energy created when your vocal cords vibrate slightly compresses the air in your throat, and the compressed energy travels outward. Space is a vacuum, which means it contains almost no matter. The word vacuum comes from a Latin word for empty. Sound is carried by atoms and molecules. In space, with no atoms or molecules to carry a sound wave, there's no sound. There's nothing to get in sound's way out in space. But there's nothing to carry it, so it doesn't travel at all. No sound also means no echo. An echo happens when a sound wave hits a hard, flat surface and bounces back in the direction it came from. Okay, great. Deep space sounds. Here we go. This is where we're getting into it, folks. While space is a good enough vacuum that normal sound can't travel through it, it's actually not a perfect vacuum, and it does have some particles floating through it. Beyond the Earth and its atmosphere, there are 5 particles in a typical cubic centimeter, the volume of a sugar cube, that are mostly hydrogen atoms. By contrast, the air you are breathing is 10 billion times more dense. The density goes down with distance from the sun, and in the space between stars, there are 0.1 particles per cubic centimeter. In vast voids between galaxies, it is 1,000,000 times lower still, fantastically empty. In 2022, NASA released a spectacular example of sound in space. It used X-ray data to make an audible recording that represents the way a massive black hole stirs up plasma in the Perseus galaxy cluster, 250 million light years away from Earth. The black hole itself emits no sound, but the diffused plasma around it carries very long wavelength sound waves. The natural sound is far too low a frequency to the human ear, 57 octaves below middle C. Wow. Which is the middle note on the piano in the middle of a range sound people can hear. But after raising the frequency to the audible range, the result is chilling. It's the sound of a black hole growling deep in space. Now, I want to hear what this sounds like, okay? Let's see. I'm excited for this, people. Here we go. Oh. So that's really scary. Wow. How interesting. So there is sound in space, but through different mediums. Interesting. Now, we're moving on. We're learning a lot today. And when I think about space, I get a little nervous. And here's why. When I think about it, we're literally floating in space. We're spinning around. We're floating in space. And that's a really scary concept to me. Because, what if we stop spinning? What happens? What happens if we stop spinning? Oh, if Earth stopped rotating and fell to a standstill, humanity would be in trouble. If the planet stopped suddenly, everything on the surface would be destroyed, as the atmosphere, oceans, and anything not nailed down will keep spinning. Whoa. It's the concept of, energy never stops, right? So if Earth just stopped, everything else would keep going. Whoa. The current speed of Earth's rotation is 1,000 miles an hour? Are you serious? It would split off the surface of the Earth and keep going around and round, basically orbiting around the Earth. The only parts of our planet that would likely be less affected would be at or near the poles, which rotate little or not at all. The extreme force would likely trigger tsunamis and earthquakes, so things would be pretty bad for the entire Earth. That is crazy. So, if you're near a beach, you are really screwed because all that water's coming at you. Whoa. That's wild. Okay. Now, that's anything. We learned a lot today. That's great. For everything today, I want to talk about a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. That topic is travel via air, okay? We're going to really discuss some airport etiquette today. We're going to discuss the TSA and all of the things. And so this is a really exciting one for me, one I've been waiting to do, and I couldn't wait any longer, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and preface this with, I am 25, which means I was born in 1999, which means I've never known flying without the TSA. Because correct me, maybe I am wrong. I'm pretty sure TSA was founded because of 9/11. Let's look it up. TSA, oh, I can't type. Was TSA founded in response to 9/11? TSA history. Okay, we got that. We know about 9/11, and we're not, you know what? This is not the one for conspiracy theories. That's going to be a different podcast. We'll get into 9/11 conspiracy theories later, okay? If you have them, let me know, and you can be on the podcast and explain yourself. On the morning of September 11th, 3,000 people were killed in a series of coordinated terrorist attacks in New York, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. The attacks resulted in the creation of the Transportation Security Administration, designed to prevent similar attacks in the future. Driven by a desire to help our nation, tens of thousands of people joined the TSA. Okay, got it. Yeah, it was because of 9/11. And what's wild to me is that before the TSA, we were just out here trusting people. Like, that's wild to me. We're out here trusting people to do the right thing and not bring guns and bombs and stuff like that on board. Like, that is wild. Now, when you go to fly, you have to go through TSA. And if you're a plebeian, if you're, not someone who flies very often, you have to go through the regular general security line of the TSA. And that line can range anywhere from 5 minutes to 3 hours, okay? You have to go through the line, you got to take your shoes off, got to take your laptops out of the bag, you got to take your Nintendo Switch out, you take your iPad out, take all your medicine out, all your liquids out. It's a whole thing. And the TSA agents, as we know, are not nice people, really. They're trying to get this show on the road. Take your laptops out of the bag. Take your shit out of the bag. Hey, calm down. I'm scared. You're a little scary. They're very aggressive, and it's a little much. It's a little performative. It's a little much. And I just really don't appreciate it, okay? Now, these days, when I fly, I have TSA PreCheck because I paid for it, okay? And what TSA PreCheck does is it allows you to go through a different line, and you get to keep your shoes on, keep your jacket on, leave everything in your bag. Very easy. Put it through the thing, go through the old body scanner, not the one that rotates and takes your DNA or something. Gives you radiation. That's what I think about when you go through the general line and they have the new ones that like rotate. I'm like, are they destroying my DNA right now? Like, what are you doing? But you get to go through the old one. That's just you walk through it, which is fun. And PreCheck these days is just a little too popular. Like it's getting to the point where it's almost the same time. If you were to go to the general one and the TSA PreCheck one, it's almost the same time. But it's fine because, it's less time. My dishwasher's about to go off. Here we go. Listen. Maybe not. Okay, maybe not. There it goes. Oh, wait. And you know what? Yeah, I'm doing dishes. And yeah, you probably heard the dishwasher going. Can I just be a real human? Huh? Can I just be a real human being and have the dishwasher going? Anyway. Yeah, everybody has TSA PreCheck now. It's kind of annoying, but it is a great thing. If you don't have it yet, you should get it. It really is worth it. Because sometimes it really is way shorter. It's like 2 minutes in and out, done. And when we're in the TSA line, there's a lot of things we need to talk about. The first thing is, when we get to the airport late, if people do that, I tend to sometimes be on the later side, but I have TSA PreCheck, so I'm not really worried. But if you're late and you have to go to the general one, and this is what really bothers me, we're all trying to get to the same place. We're all in a hurry. We all want to get through security. You being late has nothing to do with me. And so your whole family being late and trying to get through the security line and push people out of the way and say, excuse me, can I go through? Can I cut you? No, you're late. That's on you, brother. Like, come to the airport on time and you won't be doing that. But it's really annoying how people think they can just push people out of the way and get special privilege because they're late. That's not how the world works. Okay? That's not how it works. Also, if you come to the airport and you don't weigh your bags before you get to the airport, you're dumb. Go on Amazon, get a scale. Don't come to the airport with 75-pound luggage and be, taking everything out of your suitcase and repacking it. What are we doing? Are you real? Repacking at the gate? That's so embarrassing. Oh, that could never be me. I could never be that. That's so embarrassing to me. Absolutely not. It's so frustrating. And then everybody's got to wait for your behind to repack your stuff, and then it's still over. You have to take it off and do it again. Like, oh, people. It is 2025. Get the scale and weigh your bags at home. And no, they're not different. People that be like, oh, that's not actually accurate. The one at my house is different. Lies. Not true. Okay? And then you go to the security, TSA, and then the people that go into the pre-check line and act like they don't know what it is. You know how many times, you know what? I'm going to say probably 4 times out of 10. Somebody enters the pre-check line without pre-check. There's a huge sign that says TSA pre-check. And usually somebody's standing there checking your boarding passes, but sometimes there's not. Because there's a huge sign telling you that it's TSA pre-check. And it says general admission over there. It's an arrow. They get in there, they get up to the thing, and they're like, the agent is like, oh, you don't have TSA pre-check, you need to go the other line. And then they sit here doing their sob story. Oh, I didn't know. Can you just let me go by? One time, oh my gosh, you guys, this is going to really piss me off. One time, I was traveling. I was getting in my TSA pre-check line. Wasn't having the best day. It was early, and I'm not an early person. And I was in the line, and some lady was in front of me. She gets to the security agent, hands her boarding pass, and the guy goes, ma'am, this is actually not a TSA pre-check line. You're going to have to go to the other line. And she was like, sir, I'm really sorry. I didn't know. This is my first time flying, and I'm actually kind of scared. And I was like, oh, here we go. And he goes, you know what? I'll let you go ahead for now. And aloud, I went, I'm sorry, what? Hey, that's not fair. I paid for this. It might have actually been a Christmas present from my mom, but I have this. Somebody got this for me. It was a present or I bought it, but this is a privilege that people pay for. And you're just going to let her go? That is not fair. And that really pissed me off. Okay? Also, when we're in the security line, there's a couple things we need to take note of. Okay? And those things are, you've got to check, you get through the security person and then you have a choice of lines. You got to be really, really careful about the lines we choose to be in. The first thing we need to think about, how many men are in the line? My mother, Nicole Davis, a travel agent and flight attendant, who will be on the podcast at some point in the near future, probably in a couple months when I'm home for summer. We will scope out all the lines. Which is the line with the least amount of men? Because here's the thing about men and flying. They can't do it. They can't. They cannot do it. They have belts. They have wallets. They have keys. They have coins. They have tie clips. They have everything metal you could possibly own. They have screws in their pockets. I've seen that before. Okay? They got to take everything out. Just get a bag. Like, bring men's bags back. I'm a huge proponent of this. We have a lot of stuff we need to carry. The women have it right. They have purses. They can carry all their stuff. They don't need to take out of all their pockets all this stuff. And it just takes forever. And they got to take their belt off. Why are we flying with the belt on? Come on, people. Take it off in the line. Oh, and they always have to go back every single time, the men. So anytime I see men in a line, I'm not going to that line. You know what? Even mothers with babies, I'll go there first because at least they have their stuff together. The agents are always screaming at you, and it's terrifying for me because I start second guessing myself. Do I have a bomb in my backpack? Did somebody slip cocaine in my backpack? Like I start going through my mind being like, oh, my water bottle's gonna go off. I don't even drink water, but like my water bottle's in there. Oh, I like get so self-conscious and so scared that they're going to check my bag. And so that's the TSA. I have a lot of opinions about it. And always look for the one with the most men and don't go there. Choose something else. Now, airport etiquette, okay? I've compiled a list of things that I want to discuss about airport etiquette. Now, people in the airport, we see people at their best and at their worst, most likely their worst. Okay? What really gets on my last nerve is people talking on speakerphone in the airport. I don't know about you. I'm not talking on speakerphone with people around. It's not like I'm saying crazy things. It's not like my friends are saying wild things or my family saying wild things. I don't need people to know about my conversation. It's a private conversation. Get your phone off speakerphone and put on your headphones. Like, why are we talking on speakerphone? I don't understand it. I really don't. If I'm alone, I do talk on speakerphone quite often. But in public, I'm not doing that. And you know what? Sound off in the comments. If you're somebody that does this, maybe you can explain why. Because I have a really, really hard time understanding why people want to talk on speakerphone in public, let alone in the airport. This is not the place to have your conference call. This is not the place to be airing out family drama. This is not the place to be having intimate conversations on speakerphone. Okay? It's not okay. Also, most airlines, Southwest will be joining them. Actually, Southwest has a similar system still. You have a group that you will be boarding with. You got to figure out what group you're with and board the plane when your group is called. You don't get to just get on the plane whenever you want. You have to wait your turn. Wait your turn. And it's always men. Okay? And it's frustrating because when it comes to the airports, I'm a rule follower. I'm not about to buck the rules because you're getting kicked out. If you break any of the rules, you might be kicked out. So I'm very much a rule follower in the airport. And people that act like they don't know they have a boarding group are lying. They're liars. Because the person over the thing says, look at your boarding pass and make sure you know what boarding group you're in. We're going to start boarding. And so that's really frustrating. That's actually one of the things I cannot stand. What do you not understand about wait your turn? If you want to go on the plane first, you should have paid for it. But maybe you're broke and you can't. And that's nobody's problem but your own. But if you really want to get on the plane first, buy first class. Acting entitled because you are a man or something. It's so stupid. Now, what also is funny to me is people being upset that they're late and miss their flight. What are you mad at the gate agent for? They did their job. You're the one that's late, brother, sister. You're late. And we're taking this plane. This plane's taking off without you. We're not waiting for you. We've called your name 10 times. And you're still over here walking. And yeah, that boarding gate, close in your face and get into it. Because guess what? You were late. And that's your problem. Don't be mad at other people for your mistake. That's childish. When you're on the plane, you're in a family. Let's take an example. We're on the plane. We're in our seats. Okay, everybody's sat. I'm sitting next to a child. Their parent is maybe next to them, maybe not. Maybe they're a teenager. It's fine. I'm not upset about that. I work with kids all day, all the time. I'm actually kind of glad there's a kid next to me because I hate people. Okay. And what really gets me is when a family wants to sit together, but they didn't figure that out beforehand. I paid for the seat that I'm sitting in right now. And this might be a little unpopular. I'm a single person and am a little less understanding when it comes to things of this nature. And maybe I'm just a bad person, but I paid for the seat I'm in. I strategically picked the seat I'm in. If you're like me, I'm sitting in an aisle seat. That's rule number one. I'm not sitting in the middle, and I'm definitely not sitting in the window. I'm sitting in the aisle. Here's why. There's a couple reasons. Number one, I need to get up. I'm not having no deep vein thrombosis. I'm not having cellulitis. I'm not doing that. I'm getting up. I'm moving around. I have things to do. Okay? I also, in the event of an emergency, I'm getting out of there. I'm leaving the airplane and nobody's in my way. If I'm in the window seat, you might as well be dead. You ain't getting out. Okay? I'm in the aisle. I got to go to the bathroom because you know I'm drinking on that plane. I'm getting my Jack and Diet Coke on that plane and I have to pee. Okay? Let's just be frank about it. Okay? I got to have an aisle seat. That's number one. Number two. Well, I actually said all the reasons. But it's very strategic where I sit. I'm near an exit row. I'm near a restroom at least. Okay? And I'm not switching my seat. And I'm going to be honest about that. They'll say, oh, it's our first time flying as a family and we'd really, like to sit together. And you know what I say? I said, I'm sorry that you're not sitting together, but I did pay for this seat and I'm going to sit in this seat. And that's just going to be what it is. And you should have maybe thought about that before today. You could have talked to the flight attendants. They might have helped you. But I have no sympathy. And guess what? You'll be reunited in just a short while. Everything's going to be just fine. You're all going to get off the plane and see each other at the end of the line. Everything's going to be okay. I promise. I promise I'm going to treat your child with respect or your wife with respect. I'm a respectful person. But I ain't switching no seat. I know that's right. Now, I don't have a family, and that's you. The fact that you have one is none of my business. Sorry about it. Also, we're not bringing smelly food on the plane. We're not having smelly feet on the plane. We're just not doing that. Okay? Get it together. Put some deodorant on them feet. I've done it before. I don't have smelly feet, but I do get self-conscious. Put some deodorant on them feet. If you're going to take off your shoes, think smart. There's people around you, especially if you have very smelly feet. Some people just have that stank. They just got that stank on them. Figure that out, sir, ma'am. Women do it too. I've seen it and smelt it. It ain't cute. If you're eating smelly food on this plane, your reward is in hell because that's not okay. Stop it. Don't bring your smelly food on the plane. Come on. Koreans do this like crazy. Gosh, it's so ridiculous. Also, if you're listening to music on the plane and you don't have headphones in, that's a big issue. It's actually a rule. It's a rule that you're supposed to wear headphones on the plane. And if you don't do that, that's crazy. Like earlier, if we're talking on the phone in public, that's crazy. What's even crazier is watching a movie with the sound on in the airplane, listening to your rap music, your crazy explicit rap music on full volume on the plane is wild to me. Now, that's during the flight, okay? Which is fine. What I also can't stand is people not getting up. If I'm for some reason sitting in the middle or the window and I need to get up, I expect everybody to get out of my way. Clear the row, let me get out. I'm not a thin person. I'm thick, okay? I need room. These aisles are small. These rows are small. So I'm going to need everybody to vacate the premises because you're getting my cheeks in that face, all right? A full face of cheeks in that face. So get up and get out of the way. It's this thing where we move our legs to where we think we're smaller, but we're not. I need you to vacate the row and get out of the way. When we land the plane, I'm really glad we're talking about all this. This is very important. Maybe you're learning something. When we land the plane, we're not clapping. Oh, clapping's fine. It's all right. It's just weird. When we land the plane, you're not taking your seatbelt off. Wait to take your seatbelt off until the plane gets to the gate, because what we learned in the crash in Jeju in Korea is that we can still be in a plane crash on the tarmac. So keep that seatbelt buckled before you get to the gate. The same people that unbuckle their seatbelt before you're supposed to are the people running to the front of the plane when we get to the gate. And here's the thing. If you want to get off the plane as soon as possible, you should pay for that service. You should pay to be in first class. They're getting off the plane first. But if you're going to be in economy and you want to try and get to the front of the plane when the plane lands, that's going to really piss me off. Because guess what? We're all getting off this plane whether you like it or not. And you're not more important than me. And if I see you coming from it's always the people in the very back of the plane that are pushing people out of the way. And I'm a sturdy person, all right? I take up the whole aisle with my body. And you ain't getting past me, son. Oh, no. You ain't getting past me, baby. No, I'm standing right in your way and I'm taking my time. And I ain't moving. Excuse me. Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not your turn. Yeah, it's not your turn. You're going to wait. You're going to wait. Now, that's actually one of my biggest pet peeves, because in Asian culture, they need to get off that plane as soon as it lands. And it's just, it's so infuriating. It's so infuriating. Baggage claim. Get off the plane. Go into baggage. I need everybody to stand off to the perimeter. We're not up to the baggage claim belt. We're not standing right next to it. Your bag isn't here yet. You got to wait until your bag is ready. Then you go up to the belt and you pick it up. I don't understand the chaos at the baggage claim. Everybody needs to wait their turn. We have a really hard time waiting our turn in the airport, and it's really infuriating. Grow up. Grow up. This is already a stressful environment. Some people have a lot of anxiety when they travel. I know a lot of people that have really bad anxiety when they travel, especially with all this stuff going on with the plane crashes these days. And there's a lot of anxiety when it comes to travel. And the last thing I want is for people to be more anxious based off of other people's actions. Because people are just being really inconsiderate of others when they fly. And it needs to stop. It really needs to stop. And I actually do like to hold people accountable because it's just not fair. I'm going to be the one standing in the gap. I'm the one, you know, holding people from getting off the plane when they need to wait. Wait your turn. It's not hard. Now, that's going to be our anything or everything, excuse me. It's going to be our everything segment. For nothing at all today, two things. Number one, I want to talk about The Traitors, my favorite TV show right now. The Traitors is probably, I would say, the best reality television show to ever be made. And I love it. It's crazy. And these reality TV stars, they're good at games. They're Survivor contestants. They're Big Brother contestants. They're the Challenge contestants. They're from RuPaul's Drag Race. And they have some contestants on there that are really interesting. And they can compete. Okay? They know how to play the game. And man, it is just so good. If you do not watch The Traitors, I need you to get on The Traitors now. Right now. Because it is so good. Season 3 is amazing. Now, I also wanted to take some time and answer some questions that I received from viewers. Okay. I don't have very many, but I think I can talk about them. My friend Christian Sarrazin, he's a band director. He commented, "You have to cut an entire section from the band. Which section is getting cut?" I am a band director, if you don't know that. And this is a really good question. Here's why. In band and wind ensemble, there are lots of instruments that serve very distinct purposes. You can't cut the flutes. They are a very distinct timbre, and they bring a lot to the wind ensemble. We can't cut them. The oboes the same way. Clarinets have to have them. French horn is very important. Trumpet, all the brass is important. Percussion, super important. Here we go. I'm cutting the alto saxes. And here's why. Until we get to about the grade 4, 5, 6 literature, which is like upper high school to college level literature, the alto saxes are not pulling their weight. They're usually doubling parts, notably the horn part or the trumpet part or the baritone part. And there's just not a lot of distinct writing for that section. Also, the alto sax is a very abrasive instrument as far as timbre goes. The quality of the sound, that's what timbre is. And if you have too much of that timbre, it can really distort the whole sound of the wind ensemble. So if I were to cut one section from the band, it would be the alto saxes. Okay? Now, next question from my friend Faith, who will be on the podcast very soon. What one-hit wonder song is your favorite? Now, I don't know the answer to that question. I'm going to Google one-hit wonder songs. Let's see. Okay. 100 great one-hit wonders. Here we go. Okay, my favorite one-hit wonder off this list is going to be Take On Me by a-ha. That's a great... Take on me, take on me. That's a great song. Let's see what else is on here. A lot of these I don't know. Turn the Beat Around, Vicky Sue Robinson. Yep. 500 Miles, The Proclaimers. Yes, that's a great one. It's Raining Men, Weather Girls. Funky Town, Lips Inc. Okay. These are good ones. Achy Breaky Heart, Billy Ray Cyrus. I don't know if I would call that a one-hit wonder. Is he? Maybe it is. Yeah, good one-hit wonders. What, if you could only see one show, what would it be, Gaga or Celine? Oh, man. Lady Gaga or Celine Dion? This is really a hard question. I'm a big fan of Lady Gaga. I have been forever. I've been dying to see her in Vegas. Specifically, her jazz and piano show was really interesting to me. Celine is just timeless and just such a talent. And it would be crazy to watch her live. My mom's seen her live and she has rave reviews. Gosh, I don't know who I would pick. I think, honestly, it would depend on what album Gaga would be singing. Because if it was jazz, I would pick Lady Gaga, actually. If it was her new album, that's going to be really good, I think. I'm definitely going to that over Celine. I'm not going to see Joanne, okay? I'm not going to see that album. Chromatica, I would go see for sure over Celine. I would definitely go see the Fame Monster over Celine. That's pretty much it, actually. If it was any other album, I'm not going. I would go see Celine. So it's contingent on what album Lady Gaga is performing for the residency. I would love to see either of them in Vegas. That's like a dream of mine. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me today, folks. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and like and comment. Trying to grow my audience one video at a time, and I would really appreciate you sharing this with everybody. I have so much fun doing this, and I hope this was a good time for y'all. I'll see you later. Bye.